Are you still waiting for your specific person to change and become the version that you prefer? Hello, everyone. I am your Muse, Traci. I am your favorite manifestation coach. I am here to inspire you and empower you to live the life of your dreams, to create on purpose exactly what you want in all areas of your life, to stop settling and to stop suffering. You are not here to suffer. If that sounds good to you, you are more than welcome to subscribe to my channel. I offer one-on-one coaching and I also offer group coaching. In my coaching program, we take a deep dive into your subconscious programming or your dominant belief system, and we do the work to change the programming that is effectively covering up and masking your true nature. I will take you through the process of identifying and changing your programming. I'll also teach you how to integrate the creator belief system, the foundation, which I'm always talking about. I'll teach you how to release stored emotions from the past, as well as teaching you how to honor and process your emotions on an ongoing basis, as well as much, much more. We meet 2 to 3 times per week in my coaching program, and in between the sessions, you will have email access to me as well. So it is an intensive month designed to create real transformation. This is for you if you are ready to move past the one-off coaching sessions that are sort of a band-aid, and you've been using them as like emergency situations, right? And so you're ready to move past that and again, create real transformation. This is what I'm about. This is what I'm interested in. Of course, I want to be here if you're struggling, if you're having a down moment, if you're having an emergency, and you need some support. Yes, of course, I want to support you. But that's not how I want to work with you guys mainly, because again, that's sort of just putting a band-aid on it. And what I want for you guys is the real transformation, because you're not meant to suffer, right? You're not meant to just be in this sort of survival mode. You are meant to be in creator mode. So that's what my coaching program is all about. And most of my clients will stay 2 to 3 months with me in coaching. Some stay longer, some shorter. It's always up to you. It's always the level of support and the duration of support that you feel you want at this time. Either way, my clients come out of the program transformed and back in their ability to create everything they desire. They stop struggling, they stop suffering, and they finally understand how to apply all the manifesting knowledge that they've been consuming and learning for sometimes years. So if you're interested, follow the links down below, send me an email, and I will be happy to follow up with you. Okay, let's get right into the video today, you guys. If you said yes to the question I asked above, which let me remind you what the question was, are you still waiting for your specific person to change or waiting for the preferred version to show up? If you said yes, okay, well, thanks for your honesty. And, it's good to know where you are. Okay, so we don't want to be in denial. We want to be honest if that is where you are. If you are still waiting for your specific person or really anything, but we're going to talk about mainly the relationship, the specific person in this video. You can apply this to anything though. So if you are waiting, I'm going to talk about in this video 2 underlying flaws with this mindset and this point of view that are essentially keeping you stuck, okay? And we're going to get you unstuck, because that's what we're all about in these videos. So let's get right into it. The first sort of mistake that is keeping you stuck with this mindset is that waiting never makes sense. I don't care what it is. You are never, ever waiting on anything. Everything is waiting on you. If you are waiting, you will get more evidence that yes, you are waiting, because the 3D reality is a mirror of your inner state of being. So if your inner state of being is one of lacking and waiting and of not having, then the outer reality will have to reflect this back to you with perfect clarity. It really can't do anything else because it's just a mirror. So like I said, it never makes sense to wait. It never makes sense to wait. It never makes sense to wait. And as well as waiting is, somehow thinking that the mere passage of time, the mere passing of time is what changes things, is what will create the change, right? So we kind of just think, oh, I'll just be patient and, wait it out. This is a fallacy and an illusion. All outer change comes as a result of the inner change or a change in your consciousness. Okay? So, yes, there is a time delay for things to show up in the 3D reality, but we are never waiting for them to show up, right? We are, let me explain. So, if there's a time delay, but yet we're not waiting, okay, well, how does that work? So, the difference is if there is a time delay, which there is built into this reality, then how are we never waiting? It's because waiting means right now I feel the lack for whatever it is, a relationship, love, abundance, freedom, fulfillment, whatever it is. Right now I feel a lack of this thing or these things. Or maybe it's all of these things, right? And you think in your mind, when X, Y, and Z shows up, if it's a person, your specific person, what we're talking about in this video, then I will feel, when my specific person shows up, then I will feel love, abundance, freedom, fulfillment. This is what waiting is. It's essentially, I'll feel better when X, Y, and Z shows up in my physical reality. This is what waiting is. You have to understand. Then what waiting is not is you feeling internally in your inner state of being that you already have the thing that you want to experience now, right now, before you have any evidence of it. And sure, some people call this being delusional. I was talking to one of my one-on-one clients the other day about this word delusional, and it just has a negative connotation, the word, because of the way that we were taught to sort of interact with our reality, right? The mindset of, be realistic, which means only believe what you can sense with your five senses. That's sort of what we were taught. Be realistic. Look around you to figure out what's real. And then when you believe in something that you can't sense with your five senses, that's called being delusional. Well, that's the old mindset. That's the old mindset of 3D reality is what's real, and I'll believe it when I see it. And until I see it, I can't really believe in it because that's delusional. Okay? So that's the opposite of what you're doing when you are consciously creating your reality. And it's what being a conscious creator is all about. It is exactly about being delusional, if you want to use that word. Again, I don't love that word because it just has a negative connotation. But it means basically holding yourself in the inner space of experiencing your desires now before there's any evidence of them. So yeah, that's what people would call being delusional, but I call it being a conscious creator. And in fact, when I was first learning all of this and trying to, integrate it and practice it myself, my questioning mind would want to throw that at me. My ego would, um, kind of give me that question from inside. Are you sure you're not being delusional? Because we don't see any evidence. Or, my ego mind would say something like, you're just being delusional. And so what I learned to do was when I heard that type of comment from my ego, I started to answer back with, oh, good, I'm doing it right. I'm doing it exactly right if that question is going off in my mind. So you can train yourself to sort of redefine that word, basically, delusion. It's not a negative thing. That's based on, again, the old way of interacting with your reality and viewing your reality, which is, I'll believe it when I see it. Now you can say, oh yes, delusional, great. That means I am consciously creating and I am doing exactly what I need to be doing, right? So you can change that definition of that word. And when you're doing that, when you are internally already in the space of being fulfilled with your desire, which, again, that's sort of what delusional is, you're not waiting. Okay? So brilliant. That's what we want. Waiting's okay. Doesn't get you what you want. Delusional has a negative connotation. We're changing it all up, Okay. So now on to the second flaw that this mindset is based on. You're not changing your specific person. Your specific person will never change. And again, I was having this conversation with one of my clients, and she was kind of taken aback. And, it's true, your specific person will never change, but I don't mean that you won't experience a change. You will experience a change, but not because they changed. So before you get, uh, tripped up or confused or, a knee-jerk reaction, let me explain. So what does Neville teach? He teaches a lot of things, but he definitely teaches no one to change but self, right? So this is what is applying here. You are not changing your specific person. The specific person, as I said, will never change. You will experience a change in your specific person when you change, but they are never ever changing. And this is super important to remember so that when you are in the in-between stage of kind of getting some conforming qualities showing up and maybe some of the old, you understand that this isn't solved by, taking physical action or having a conversation or by telling them to be different or by doing something physically to manipulate or anything of this nature. Nothing like this is actually going to assist you in the change. I'm not saying you can't communicate, but that's not where the change is going to come from. The change comes in the version that you focus on internally, that you accept as true internally, that you keep going back to internally, right? That you are aligned with. And then you will eventually experience because you aligned with it first in your inner world and you stayed there and you committed to it and you didn't waver and you didn't react, because there's infinite versions of people and everything, right? Creation is finished. So everything that you can have a thought about, and that includes your specific person, already exists. Your preferred version of your specific person already exists right now. And that version exists in a parallel reality to the version that you maybe are currently experiencing. And the current version will always be that version, and your preferred version will also always be that version and has always been that preferred version, right? So you're not changing your preferred version. You're not changing your unpreferred version. They both exist. You're changing you. And when you change you, the preferred version will be the one that you experience, but you're not ever changing the other person. And when you think about it, you guys, I'm telling you this because you can't change another person, but you can change yourself. So when you have the mindset that you're still changing the other person, this is when all kinds of doubt and fear and worry starts to come in, because you kind of already know you can't change the other person. Or maybe you're still hoping and wishing that you can change the other person, but you're not changing the other person, you're changing you. So the perceived level of effort diminishes, right? This is what the reminder of creation is finished does every single time. It takes all the effort, time, factor, change, everything, and it like collapses it. It collapses it because you are the only thing that needs to change. So when we try to change the partially conformed version, or we start reacting to the unconformed parts of the specific person, we accidentally solidify those traits and that version in our reality. What we resist persists, and what we accept fully can shift and change. And you will not be able to accept fully the unconformed pieces if you do not understand this piece, that you're not changing them. Because you can only accept the current reality if you know that it's not permanent, right? If it's not what you want, you can only really accept it if you know that this is just one option. This is just my past creation from my previous thoughts and what I previously aligned with, right? So you're never changing the other person, you guys. Got to keep coming back to this. It's going to collapse all the amount of time, the effort, everything. It's going to collapse that, and it's going to allow you to get back focused internally on exactly what it is that you do want to experience right now. No one to change but self. They are the mirror, and they can only show you what you are doing dominantly inside of yourself, both regarding yourself and regarding them. But first and foremost, yourself. Okay? So when you change, the version of them that shows up will be different. No mistake about it. Okay? But they are never changing. You experience the change, but that is because you shifted yourself and aligned yourself with the ideal or preferred version, and you stayed there consistently enough so that you aligned with that parallel version, and now that is what you're experiencing in your 3D reality. Such an important reminder, you guys. If you kind of catch yourself feeling like I'm waiting on SP to change, please come back to these two reminders so that you can shift very quickly, go back within, and collapse all the time, all the effort, and more quickly experience your preferred version in the 3D reality.